Hello, Mr. Benavides. How are you today?
I'm great,
Priscilla
Priscilla.
Arispe.
How are you, Priscilla?
So I'm doing really good. I actually wanted to take the time because I wanted to come and talk to you, know a little bit more about you. I know that you're running for Webb County Judge, and I'm very excited for you. How's that going for you?
It's going well. We've been working really hard. We've gotten a lot of people supporting the candidacy and obviously connecting with the population of what is Webb County and, of course, Laredo. And I'm very excited about where we're at.
So tell me a little bit about yourself. I don't know.
I'm a father of 6. I'm a grandfather of 5. And I love kids. That's really what my jam is all about. So really, the reason why I'm running for county judge is because I love children, and I want to make sure that we leave the place that was entrusted to us better for the next generation.
That's amazing. So I have a few questions for you. Is that okay?
Sure, absolutely.
So we're going to start with the first one, and it's why have you devoted so much of your life to serving the Boys and Girls Club?
Well, it goes back to what we're talking about. Youth and children is what I care about the most. But it really goes back even further. In 1963, my great uncle, Roberto Benavides, who was honorable Webb County judge at the time, had a great relationship with a man that is known to be very famous, John F. Kennedy. So he and John F. Kennedy took a picture in front of the boys club, the main boys club at 500 Moctezuma, back in 1963. So if you can imagine, quite a bit of time ago. And it just kind of stayed in with me that he cared about the beginning of the boys club. He was one of the founding members organizing that institution. And I felt like it's part of my heritage. And whenever you help children, you can never go wrong.
That's right. No, that's right. God actually gives you more whenever you help children.
I believe that it's something that is so critical, and it's a fundamental thing that we can actually do that has impact throughout the community. People talk about why are things not happening well? Why are things not positive? And it's for the lack of commitment to our youth. If we spent more time with the youth, we'd have less time to worry about people in prison or people suffering under other things. If we give our children and empower them to view changes in life, we automatically instill something that no classroom can educate. It requires that external, independent connection so that people can know that they can succeed at something. Okay. In some cases, Boys Club is the Super Bowl. In some cases, we are the Final Four. In some cases, we are that victory, that track meet, that one moment in time where I succeeded or I participated. That is the difference that kids connect and evolve to the future.
That's right. That's really good. Okay. So, second question. How did the landfill idea start?
So, the landfill, which I know a lot of people have some trouble with, it started because about 1978, I was told by a very famous engineer at the time that that particular part of our property was a piece of property that did not have any potential for exploration for natural gas. I was very much interested in the future at that time on why we produce gas and what was that all about, and it's a big sector of our community. And obviously, I didn't know exactly what I was looking for, but I asked the man, there's all these oil gas wells all the way around this particular piece of property, but why none in the middle? It seemed like a big void, right? And he told me, oh, that piece of property is no good for anything except the landfill. And I didn't understand exactly at the time what he meant by that. But over the years, I found out that this particular place is what they call like a salt dome. You may know this from living out at the ranchitos that there's this little plants called saladillo.
Yeah.
And what means it's the only thing that lives in that part. You can't grow grass.
Yeah.
Like you can grow grass for 6 months, but then it dies.
Yeah.
And why? Because it's all this salt that's in the dirt, the soil. And that is critical because when you have salt and clay together, it does not allow for what's called permeation, or like it doesn't seep through, it doesn't transmit. And those are kind of some of the elements that are required when you're looking to potentially build a landfill. You have to have some of these natural barriers besides the other things. So as I grew older, I said, well, one day there might be a need for a landfill. And I've thought at the time, oh, well, I wasn't incorrect because the city bought another landfill during this time, but the city was in need of a landfill, and I felt like we could get a partnership in developing it. So I went and got city approval, and I got county approval. And then after that, it got political, and we weren't able to do it. But that's how it came about.
You know what? It's very interesting because when I was in college, we actually learned that there's a lot of places who have these kind of landfills, right? They grow after the years, and then they became beautiful parks. And that's like, if you go and visit, it's a beautiful thing.
Have you ever been to Austin?
I have no, I have not.
No? Well,
No.
if you ever get to Austin, there's a park called Zucker Park.
Okay.
It's the most famous park in Texas, probably. It's a landfill.
Yes.
It was a landfill.
Well, back to my point. So it does become something beautiful because that's just nature.
Most people don't know this, but Laredo has 13 different landfills that have been abandoned and reclaimed. And there's shopping centers over them today and other developments, homes, and it's all good because of the proper containment that's required after they're completed. And so they can be controlled and be as safe as possible into the environment.
It's amazing. Next question. Will you pursue the landfill project as county judge?
I personally will not be pursuing a landfill. Not at all. But I think the city, the county, and everybody around the general area need to be aware that the city potentially has some needs of some upgrades to its current facility. The city has some massive challenges. I know that city government and the people that are in charge of that project are working diligently to figure out solutions. So I'm not sure where that'll go in the future, but myself, will not be involved in that process.
Big no-no. Okay. So then, tell me how the vision for the road you built, Camino Colombia, started.
So, I talk about that vision, and I'm not going to brag and say it was that big of a stretch because we had the most important state in the Republic of Mexico, the state of Nuevo León. It is the economic engine for the entire country. And they chose to get a federal permit to build a brand new bridge in Webb County, north of Laredo, 21 miles north of Laredo. And it just seemed natural that when you look at it on a map, if you want to get from point A to point B, it's a straight line, not coming 21 miles down to go 24 miles north. It made no sense to do that. Who was going to drive 45 miles to go around the whole process? Plus, it also allowed us to expand the capabilities and offer more services to more people, giving more opportunities to independents to be able to buy real estate, develop their small warehouses or their small trucking companies. Because Laredo at the time was pretty much landlocked. You only had one landowner controlling most of the land.
Right.
That Camino Colombia opened the door. It opened Pandora's box, and it offered proper infrastructure for the development of the future. Furthermore, at the time, they were developing the deep water port at Corpus Christi. So my family is very blessed and fortunate that my great-grandmother made a deal back in 1931 to buy a piece of property. And that piece of property makes up almost 18 miles of the 21-mile toll road.
Wow.
So, but we didn't just put it on our property because we know how important it is to work with your neighbors. So we put it right on the edge. We joined all our neighbors. We got 22 different beautiful men and women that supported our project. And they donated their own resources, not only in the land, 400 feet wide right away, but in the form of $14 million. And this organization brought in more dollars than any one person has ever done in the history of our community. With vision that now is unfolding today, you have Talise. How many billions of dollars are they talking about investing in that part of the world for the future? That's Camino Colombia. So when the people talk about failing, they don't understand what true vision and leadership truly means.
Right.
And at the end of the day, I don't need to be doing this thing for myself. I'm here for my community. That's why I'm here. So change comes in so many ways, and it's so hard to define to the average person. And each one of us has our version of it. And I think that's what's really wrong with what's going on right now with current leadership. Nobody wants to talk about what's on your mind.
Yeah.
What's important to you, to the public. You know, everybody just saying, "Oh, this is what I'm going to do." How about let's hear what is important to you, your family, your neighbors, your community. Is Las Lomas the most important thing to you? So
What's
how do we impact that? So I'm going to tell you one way: water. And I know you have a question about it.
I do. Will you obtain water for the rural areas?
So I've been talking about water for 25 years, and most people don't know that. You know why? Because my family and the people of Camino Colombia, primarily with the Walker family, have been investing in the research of water since 1991. We've done study work in 91, in 2001, and we also done some recent. They've done some recent studies. Even some of the other people that are around the community have done water studies, and they all lead to one thing: that we have enough water for a little bit of development. Maybe it's a lot of development to some people, but what we don't have is a true secondary futuristic water for your children and your grandchildren. We might survive. Most people don't want to talk about this, but currently the city of Nuevo Laredo, Tamaulipas, is dumping anywhere between 28 and 35 million gallons of raw sewage into the river every day in 13 different locations. That is a livelihood situation that exists and has no way to fix in short term.
That's right.
I have spoken to our congressmen and I've spoken to our senators at the federal level, telling them that we might need to get involved with what's happening in Nuevo Laredo so that we can fix it. We got involved some time ago. We built a naphtha waste treatment facility through the NAD Bank. That facility is shut down. It's not working right. So somehow we need to get involved because we need to have that kind of open communication. It's part of the $3 billion package that I'm talking about of what Laredo truly needs. Because Laredo has to function with its sister city. But the needs for the future of water are not going to come from the Rio Grande, potentially. They're going to come from the deep water port at Corpus Christi, where there has been an initiation by our current governor, Abbott, to move forward on that project. He has already invested $750 million to initiate it. And he has told me personally in a private dinner that we had 2 weeks ago that if something's not done and executed by November the 7th to initiate that project, that he is going to state of Texas is going to step in and take over that project. And that $3.5 billion will be spent on that facility to get water from there to Laredo, Texas, San Antonio, Corpus Christi, and the Valley. And that is the future for water in South Texas. And it may only be because of global change, climate change. Mm-hmm. That may be the reason. You know, we got serious droughts here. They're extending our lakes from Laredo all the way to just south of Austin. All the reservoirs, you know, where people hold water, are below 20%. Lake Corpus Christi is a catastrophic numbers in the single digits. They have serious problems, and we need to do some serious changes.
I started the water project 3 years ago, and it's still the same. Why? Because once it gets to a certain table, it just doesn't move.
It will be done utilizing different techniques.
Another thing, did you know that in Oilton and Bruni, they have an ambulance that can't transport anybody on it?
No, I'm not aware of that.
Well, they have an ambulance at the fire department, but they could only go check your vitals, and that's it. They really can't do much. They have to wait for an ambulance from Laredo to drive all. And I know this because when I was block walking, I learned a lot of things from the people. And they were like, Mija, one of the things that we need, I mean, there's been people who have passed away because of the distance.
Well, we need to work on things. And I know that there's got to be more conduit working between the Border Patrol and Webb County. And obviously ambulatory services have to be right. Mm-hmm. Working with the fire department to make sure that we have that and have the proper equipment in all our facilities. I understand from the firefighters that they have some pretty cool stuff, but that they need other things. You know, we have major shipments of toxic goods that go to and from Mexico at this location, that a spill of that magnitude that we are ill prepared for that kind of event. So there's got to be more leadership and more direction. Now everybody says, well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, because they're waiting for the response, you know? I don't want to be like those people in the hill country where they waited till the last minute where there was a problem. I want to do something right now so that we have an anticipation of anything that could happen for the benefit of our community.
Right.
It's one of the reasons why I've been speaking against the border wall and things of that nature, because I do not want to affect our bridge system. Our bridge system is the livelihood of this community. Our bridge system fails, this community fails. We are a transportation community, and we need to incentivize people to come and invest in our community. But we're not going to get it done if we don't have clean water and proper infrastructure.
Yeah. That's right. And last but not least, lucky you. Why do you want to be our next Webb County judge?
More than anything, I want the opportunity to bring the kind of government that I feel that this community deserves. I think this community deserves a leader that's going to be open door policy, that's going to be able to relate to people at every level. It's been my ability to always talk to anybody at every level, and I treat everybody the same. I don't look at anybody whether they have $1 million or $1 differently. You know, I work with them at every level. I've sat at the same table. I've enjoyed times together at different places. And I think that's what brings me joy and a unique sense of accomplishment, because of that ability to be able to communicate with anybody. And I think the community deserves a leader that's going to be transparent and working with everybody, working with every division within Webb County, having an open door communication with the city of Laredo, working with the city manager's office, the mayor, and council, taking the time to visit things at a much deeper level so that real good business decision is foremost in our minds, so that we can effectively make the proper investments and changes for the betterment of our community. We're not at a place where we can loosely move forward. I think this community is at a crossroads. This community has a choice to be a truck stop or a real community. And it depends on having strong leadership that's going to use revolutionary tactics to invest in its community, to be able to offer the most for the benefit of our kids and our grandparents, and of course of all the constituents that we have within Webb County.
You know what? I actually have a bonus question for you.
Go ahead.
Listening to you talk, it came up to my mind. What do you think about corruption?
Corruption? Well, I will tell you that corruption exists everywhere in the world, you know, at every facet, at every level. And it's a sad thing, but the devil never quits. You know, he works 24 hours a day. And it's part of what we have to live around. But having people that we can count on, that we know that are strong, that will not bend to will or money or anything, is the key to the future. Because, and you don't have to be wealthy to be that person. You just have to have a pure belief and strength in doing what's right. And I think working with people like that always makes for the proper changes, you know. We're not going to allow for discrimination. We're not going to allow for things that don't make sense for you, the public. We're going to protect your tax dollar. We're going to make sure it's wisely invested. And we're going to make sure we do the best that we can do with what we have.
That's great. So I wanted to congratulate you, because despite all of the negative propaganda people are giving you, you're actually, you know, you commit, you're going straight, and that's a good thing. Honestly, some of my family members are like, I'm going to vote for him just because of everything that they're doing against him. So I think a lot of people are actually opening their eyes, you know, and it's a really good thing. You have to keep going, stay positive.
It'd be nice for the public to see and ask themselves, why would people spend millions of dollars against one person?
Yeah, you know what came to my mind when I saw these billboards and the radio station and everything all of that, it was like, wow, if they would actually use that money to actually help the community, to actually give out to the homeless, to, I don't know, build a little building, for people in need, give out food. But no, they decide to put it on signs. They decide to put that money. It's perfectly good money,
It's great money. It is a shame it's being wasted.
It's a shame.
Although it just shows you how much that I think corruption doesn't want to see me in that chair.
That's right. That is right. So congratulations, and thank you very much for taking the time. I know you're very busy, but I had to come.
This is an important time, and I think this was a wonderful visit.
Well, thank you very much, and God bless.
God bless you too.
I am C.Y. Benavides III, and I'm humbly asking for your vote on May 26, 2026.